The story begins in old Japan. We see a place called Ako, where landlords still rule. Some samurais brought in a strange boy they had caught. The boy's name was Kai, but no one knew where he came from. Everyone suspected that maybe he was some kind of ghost or spirit. They did not want to keep him in their state because his skin was very white, and they were afraid of him. But still, the master of that land, Lord Asano, said that this boy would stay here. Asano's daughter Mika also liked the boy, and both of them soon became friends. Now that boy grew up in that state, but always different from others. Everyone treated him like an outsider. Yet, he remained grateful for Asano's kindness and Mika's friendship. One day, some hunters went to capture a beast that all the villagers were afraid of. That beast was huge, with 6 eyes. Forget men, it could even throw horses into the air. At that moment, we see a samurai named Yasano, whose sword had fallen, and he got trapped in front of the beast. Kai risked his life and killed that beast. Not only did he save Yasano's life, but he also gave him his sword back. Yasano said in disgust, "It would have been better if I had died. This impure one saved me." Ugh. Everyone there believed that Kai was indeed something different. Soon, the rest of the samurais arrived and assumed Yasano had killed the beast. Yasano stayed quiet and took all the credit for himself. Before leaving, Kai saw a strange white fox staring directly at him. Its 2 eyes were of different colors. Meanwhile, in another state, Nagato, the same white fox appeared before their master, Lord Kira. Suddenly, the fox transformed into a beautiful woman. She was actually Kira's spy. She told Kira that their plan to kill Lord Asano had failed. When the hunters returned, Mika welcomed her father. She asked if he was hurt. Asano joked, "Are you worried for someone special?" Then it was revealed why killing the 6-eyed beast was so important. Because soon, in the eyes of the shogun, a great tournament was about to take place. It was a very big deal, and everything had to be perfect. Asano was very pleased with Mika's work. He said, "If your mother were alive today, she would be very proud of you." That night, Mika went to Kai. Kai was badly hurt, so Mika took care of him. Then Mika brought up Yasano. She said that when everyone was praising him, she saw shame in his eyes. Kai understood that Mika knew what had actually happened. He immediately said, "I don't want any trouble. You should leave from here." He also added, "I will always love you. But my place is different, and yours is different." Soon, the grand day of the shogun arrived. A woman appeared who looked very familiar. Her eyes were also of 2 colors, exactly like that fox we saw in the forest. Kai found this strange, so he went to tell Oishi. Neither of them knew that his son, Shirkara, was overhearing their conversation. Kai said, "There is a witch among us." But Oishi reminded him that only demons could see the true face of a witch. "How do you know all this?" The next day, the festival began again, and Lord Kira came there. He spoke politely to Lord Asano, but deep inside, both of them hated each other. Kira said, "Wow, you have a fine concubine here." Very angrily, Asano replied, "She is my daughter, understand? Speak respectfully." After the play, it was time for the contest between the 2 lands. Lord Kira's warrior was amazing. Everyone was very impressed by him. Kira teased Mika, saying, "Don't worry. I'm sure your father's chosen warrior will be just as strong." But no one really had faith in him because Asano had chosen Yasano, believing he was the one who killed the 6-eyed beast. Everyone thought Yasano would come. But just before the fight, the fox appeared to him, and now he looked somewhat changed. When Shirkara came to fetch him, Yasano didn't look in any condition to fight. Kai suggested, "Call someone else." But it was too late now. If their warrior didn't appear soon, their land would face terrible humiliation, and Asano's head would bow down in shame. But in this contest, only a samurai could fight, and neither Kai nor anyone else was a samurai. However, samurais wore masks. Behind a mask, no one would know whether it was Yasano or not. Everyone grew tired of waiting. The shogun had his servant ask, "Where is your warrior?" Just then, Ako's warrior arrived. His entry wasn't as grand as his enemies, but everyone sighed in relief. At least he came. But that relief was soon taken away. Kira's warrior began breaking the poor fellow. With one arrow strike, his mask fell off before everyone, and all were shocked. The shogun stopped the fight and came down. In one glance, he recognized that Kai was no samurai. The shogun ordered the other warrior to kill him. Mika panicked and stood in front of Kai. Lord Asano apologized for this and took all the blame on himself. He said, "If punishment is to be given, give it to me." The shogun agreed and left the punishment to the people. That evening, the witch was explaining her plan to Lord Kira, how she would seize all of Ako's land from Lord Asano. She said the timing was perfect. Asano already had a heavy burden on his head. From her magic, she created a spider. Imagine how many eyes it had. Yes, once again, a terrifying 6-eyed creature. Now it was clear where the earlier beast had come from. The spider crawled to Asano's lips and poisoned him with its sting. Asano woke up, hallucinating that Kira was attacking Mika. He picked up his sword to protect his daughter. But all of this was happening only in his mind. However, the attack he made on Kira was visible to everyone. The samurais rushed to stop him, and Kira pretended to be the victim. For this incident, Asano was sentenced to death because he had attacked a guest. But because of his honor and status, he was allowed to do it himself. Later, Asano told Oishi that this was far better than being hanged. Oishi said, "This is wrong. What is your fault? You were controlled." But Asano now only thought about saving his family's honor. Then he went to bid farewell to Mika. He told her not to cry. Do not show them that you are weakening. After that, he went with Oishi to a place. Oishi cleaned the sword for him. Kai was still recovering from his wounds. But everyone else was present and witnessed Asano's end. The samurais wanted to avenge his death. Oishi said that if they fought now, the whole land would be in danger. Not just warriors, but farmers and villagers too. A warrior's first duty is to think of others. Mika told the shogun that, as Asano's only daughter, she would take charge of the land until she was married. But she didn't know that everything was already decided. From now on, Lord Kira was the master of AKO's land. Mika was given 1 year to mourn. After that, she would be married to Kira. For Oishi and the rest of Asano's soldiers, the shogun announced that they were no longer samurais. Now they were ronins, samurais who had lost their master. He also clearly said, "You will not take revenge." As soon as Kira came into power, the first thing he did was expel the ronins from his land. He said that if any ronin was found there, he would be killed. Mika was heartbroken upon hearing this. And things weren't over yet. Kai was dragged in with a rope. Kira told his soon-to-be wife to take one last look at him, because she would never see him again. Then he called one of his men and asked, "What should we do with Oishi?" He did not trust Oishi at all, so he threw him in prison. There he lay for a whole year. One stormy, rainy day, they dragged him out and left his weak body there. His wife and son ran to him. They gave him warm food. His wife told him that all their people had left AKO's land. Mika was taken into the castle for wedding preparations, because her 1 year of mourning was now over. Oishi asked, "What happened to Kai?" Shirkara told him that he had been sold as a slave somewhere far away. When Oishi ate food, he learned everything. He stood up and told the boy, "I need 3 horses immediately." His wife tried to stop him, but Oishi said, "Tell the whole world that we are divorced. There are some tasks that are extremely necessary, and this is the only way I can protect you." Oishi bid farewell. He explained some things to Shirkara and rode off on a horse. After much searching, when he found Kai, he was in a terrible condition. He was being forced to fight brutally for the entertainment of addicts. Oishi entered that ring disguised as a fighter, because that was the only way he could talk to Kai. But in the past year, Kai had become nothing but a fighting machine. He had been tortured to such an extent that he couldn't even recognize Oishi anymore. Oishi kept saying, "It's me. Pay attention." But Kai kept attacking him, as if only his body was fighting, while inside, he was already dead. He had no strength left to think or feel. He came to his senses only when he heard Mika's name. Then the two of them found a way to escape from that fighting pit, dodging bullets along the way. When they had gone far enough, they started talking. Now their relationship had completely changed. Kai was no longer that calm disciple. Now he had become sharp-spoken and very angry. Oishi also admitted, "I should have believed you about that witch." Lord Kira had deceived their master into getting killed. Now he needed Kai's help, and after staying imprisoned for a whole year, Oishi's thinking had also changed a lot. That is why now Oishi was treating Kai with great respect. Soon, a man arrived outside Kira's castle. He came with some news from the Dutch island. He informed them that the warrior they had sold to him had escaped with the help of a samurai. After hearing this, Kira told the witch to find Oishi as quickly as possible. He wanted Oishi to be completely destroyed. Meanwhile, Kai and Oishi reached a pond where Shirkara was waiting for them. Shirkara had gathered all of Oishi's people there. He said that he had a plan, but this plan was against the shogun's orders. That meant whoever took part in this wouldn't stay alive for long. As soon as he revealed that his goal was to kill Lord Kira, everyone shouted with excitement. All were ready to follow his plan. Inside the castle, there were many guards. Security was very tight. That's why they had to find out when Kira would be going on his temple visit. They also needed more people and swords. Oishi gave this task to some of his men. One of them got angry at Kai and tried to attack him, saying that he was not a samurai. Oishi stopped him and said, "You are not one either. None of us are samurai anymore." Then each team went on their respective tasks. Soon, Oishi and Kai reached a place called Yutsu, which was a village of sword makers. That place looked like an abandoned city. Not a single man could be seen. When they saw some soldiers, Oishi said, "We are just farmers. We came to buy some tools." The soldiers said that now this was Lord Kira's village. When the soldiers saw Shikara's hands, they said, "These don't look like a farmer's hands." Kai understood what was about to happen and immediately attacked those soldiers. He killed them so quickly that the remaining ones got very frightened. They began picking up the swords of the dead soldiers. By then it was clear that Kira had conquered the whole region, and now they wouldn't get weapons from there. Then Kai revealed his secret to Oishi. He said, "We can find weapons in the Tengu forest, where I was raised among spirits." He also swore that he would never use the magic given to him by them. Oishi didn't like his talk of spirits, but he had no other option. He had to take revenge no matter what. At that time, one of their men came back with information about Kira's next visit. But suddenly, he met a beautiful girl and got entangled there. Her eyes were very different. She asked him, "What is your name?" Meanwhile, Oishi's men carefully entered the forest. They asked about the northern direction, and Kai said, "There are spirits there." After this, Oishi and Kai went inside a dark cave, while the rest of the men waited outside. If too many people went in together, the spirits would get angry. Kai told Oishi, "No matter what happens, do not draw your sword. Remember, no matter what happens." Outside the cave, the Ronins started talking among themselves. They couldn't understand why Oishi had so much trust in Kai. After some discussion, they decided, "We do not trust Kai if he takes Oishi inside and gets him killed." So now even they were ready to enter the cave, even though they had been forbidden to do so. Inside, Kai went alone into an inner chamber. Soon, a strange-looking man appeared to him. He and Kai started talking about the outside world, about how people like Kai were treated badly. He too had been called filthy blood many times, rejected everywhere without any fault of his own. But here, in the world of spirits, nothing wrong happened to him. He was accepted. Meanwhile, in the outer chamber, Oishi was shocked to see the hatred of his own men. Everyone was in shock. Then Yasano, without any reason, drew his sword. He started a strange fight, and a voice began echoing in Oishi's mind. It kept saying again and again, "Draw your sword and save your men." Restless, he kept trying to help without a sword. But one by one, his men kept falling. Then Kai asked for the sword that was placed between the two of them. The spirit said, "Yes, you can take it, but only on one condition. Show me you can grab it before me." Both flew toward each other in the air, but Kai was very fast. Seeing this, the spirit was very happy that Kai still had that same speed. In the other chamber, everything was turning upside down. In reality, Oishi's men had never entered the cave. All of it was just an illusion. It was a test of Oishi's devotion and faith. When Kai returned, he carried several swords. Now all the Ronins came out of the cave. Isegai was there, and he said that Lord Kira would leave his castle that night. Oishi received his message but did not notice that Isegai's eyes had become cloudy. Shirkera also wanted to join the fight, but his father forbade him, so he stayed behind with an old man. At night, the Ronins secretly entered the trap. A man with very long hair was performing a ritual. He was only waiting for Oishi to come near. Suddenly, he turned around. It was that witch. With just one gesture of her hand, fire spread everywhere. Many people were killed. Some Ronins were badly injured. Inside the castle, the witch gave a sword to Lord Kira and said, "This once belonged to Oishi." Then she taunted Mika, saying how she had single-handedly destroyed the last remaining army of her father. During their conversation, the witch left a dagger near Mika. That gave Mika an idea. Meanwhile, at the Ronin's camp, it was revealed that the witch was wrong. Yes, many were injured, but most had survived. Oishi admitted, "This is my fault. We should not have waited so long. Now we must take revenge immediately, whether we win or lose. If we die, we will still die with honor." Then Kai said, "We can still finish what we started. Now, when we attack, we will have a great advantage, because Kira thinks we are all dead." And in the morning, they got another chance to attack. As they were leaving, Kai recognized a group of theater performers. Their troupe had performed in this region before. When they were stopped, the actors said, "We are going to perform at Lord Kira's wedding." After hearing this, all the Ronins started making a new plan. They were also completely certain that there was a strong chance they wouldn't return alive. And they also knew well how dangerous this was. Their lives could be lost. They wrote down their story so that the next generation would know what they did and why. Everyone signed it. Kai also did. Now he was no longer an outsider among them. Yasano too admitted in front of everyone that it was Kai who killed the six-eyed beast, not him. Even if late, at least he apologized. He also explained that a samurai always carries two swords and gave the second sword to Kai. At night, a grand ceremony was about to begin. Kira's castle was filled with soldiers. They allowed the troop to enter through the gate. But no one noticed that Kai and Oishi had slipped inside with them. Soon, Mika was dressed in a bridal gown and brought before Kira. As the two of them sat, the play began. While everyone was watching the play, the Ronins used the opportunity to climb the corners of the castle and silently kill the guards. They worked so cleanly that no one suspected anything. As soon as they killed a samurai, one of them would take his place as if nothing had happened. Meanwhile, the crowd was enjoying the fire tricks on stage. But suddenly, the witch sensed that something was wrong. Oishi was disguised there and had begun performing some tricks. While three samurais standing together were being taken down, something went wrong. One of them shot an arrow at Oishi, which grazed his hand. But the attack he was making on Kira failed. Now, Kira's men rushed to protect him and Mika with their shields from the arrows and took them away. The Ronins were still chasing them. But now battles had erupted everywhere. Kai alone was wiping out many enemies. Lord Kira sent his most dangerous warrior to fight the Ronins. Seeing him, everyone was afraid. They knew he was extremely powerful. But then one Ronin threw burning gunpowder into the armory room. A massive explosion took place, and Kira's samurai was killed in it. The witch immediately changed form and flew away. Mika, seizing the opportunity, took the dagger hidden in her wedding dress and attacked Kira. But when she realized she could not kill him, she escaped at the right moment. The entire castle had turned into a battlefield, and all the ronins were fighting with their full strength. After some time, Kai and Mika met each other. As soon as Kai said, "Now no one can separate us," the witch returned. Soon she transformed into a giant dragon with her magic. But Kai said, "I am not afraid of you." She attacked Kai with fire, but with the help of that special sword, Kai blocked every one of her attacks and kept counterattacking. Meanwhile, only a thin wall separated Oishi and Kira. As they attacked each other, they broke through it. A fierce battle broke out between them. Both were equally strong. While fighting the witch, Kai lost his sword. But just as the dragon advanced to attack Mika, Kai immediately used his hidden powers to pull the sword back and struck the dragon with a mighty blow. The dragon fell down and slowly transformed back into the witch. The strike was so powerful that the witch died. Inside the castle, Oishi also defeated Kira and finally cut off his head, bringing it before everyone to end this battle forever. As soon as Lord Kira died, even his soldiers laid down their weapons. Then all 47 ronins returned to Ako with Princess Mika. They went to Lord Asano's grave, placed his sword there, and Oishi said, "Now the revenge is complete." In the end, Princess Mika confessed her love to Kai, and love began to blossom between the two of them. If you liked the video, give it a like and subscribe to the channel. See you in the next video.